For centuries, Southeast Asia was a stage for intense conflict. The kingdoms of Burma and Siam engaged in devastating wars. These confrontations shaped the region's destiny. The destruction left deep scars on the landscape. Cities were besieged and often razed. Populations faced displacement or death. One kingdom would invade, seeking to subjugate the other. The defeated kingdom would strive to recover. This pattern spanned generations. The human cost is difficult to comprehend. Armies clashed repeatedly, civilians suffered immensely. The wars consumed lives and spirit. Understanding this conflict is essential to grasping the history of Thailand and Myanmar. The Kingdom of Ayutthaya, representing Siam, was a formidable power in Southeast Asia for over 400 years. Founded in 1351, it grew into a prosperous and cosmopolitan center. Its capital city, also named Ayutthaya, was strategically located on an island at the confluence of three rivers. This location facilitated trade and defense. Ayutthaya became a major international trading port. Merchants from Asia and Europe flocked to its markets. To the west lay Burma, a land of diverse peoples often unified under powerful dynasties. The Toungoo dynasty, which rose to prominence in the 16th century, was particularly significant. Rulers like King Tabinshweti and King Bayanong pursued ambitious campaigns of expansion. After a period of decline, the Konbaung Dynasty emerged in the mid-18th century. This new dynasty reinvigorated Burmese power and ambition, continuing the long-standing rivalry with Siam. The constant struggle for supremacy with Ayutthaya was a defining characteristic of their foreign policy. Southeast Asia during the period of the Burmese Siamese Wars was a region of immense geopolitical significance. It lay at the crossroads of major civilizations, primarily India and China. This geographical position made it a conduit for trade, culture, and religious ideas. The various kingdoms in the region often acted as buffer states or key players in a complex web of alliances and rivalries. Control over strategic ports and overland routes translated directly into power and influence. European colonial powers were also beginning to show increasing interest in the region. The cultural landscape of Southeast Asia was extraordinarily rich and diverse. Indian influences, particularly Hinduism and Buddhism, had profoundly shaped the art, architecture, religion, and political thought of many kingdoms. Chinese cultural elements were also present, especially in trade and community life. Alongside these external influences, vibrant indigenous cultures flourished. Economically, Southeast Asia was a treasure trove. The allure of Southeast Asia's wealth and strategic location inevitably drew the attention of emerging European maritime powers. The rivalry between Burma and Siam was deeply entrenched, existing for centuries before the most devastating wars erupted. At its core, this was a struggle for regional hegemony. Both kingdoms aspired to be the dominant power in mainland Southeast Asia. This ambition meant controlling not just their own core territories but also influencing or directly ruling smaller neighboring states and principalities. Securing their allegiance or resources was a key strategic goal for both Ayutthaya and the Burmese rulers. Control over vital trade routes was another major catalyst for conflict. Southeast Asia was a hub of lucrative international commerce. Key overland routes crossed the peninsula, connecting the Indian Ocean to the South China Sea. Internal instability within one kingdom often provided an opportunity for the other to intervene. A peculiar but significant factor in the rivalry was the quest for white elephants. The First Fall of Ayutthaya, in 1569, marked a significant turning point in Burmese Siamese warfare. King Bayanong led a massive invasion force, overwhelming Ayutthaya after a prolonged siege. The Siamese king was taken captive, and Ayutthaya became a vassal state. Prince Nareswin declared independence in 1584, leading to iconic military victories. In 1767, Ayutthaya fell again, suffering severe destruction. This event deeply influenced Siamese policies and their perception of Burma. The human cost of the Burmese Siamese Wars was staggering. Generations of people on both sides endured immense suffering. Mass enslavement and forced deportations were common practices. The loss of life, both among soldiers and civilians, was enormous. Villages were depopulated, and agricultural lands were abandoned due to the constant threat of invasion and the conscription of manpower for war. The cultural devastation, particularly following the Second Fall of Ayutthaya in 1767, was a tragedy of immense proportions. The Burmese forces systematically destroyed much of the Siamese capital. Countless temples, palaces, sculptures, and religious texts were lost. Historical archives which contained the records of Ayutthaya's long history were largely obliterated. The relentless wars had a significant impact on the political trajectory of both kingdoms. While both Burma and Siam demonstrated remarkable resilience, the centuries of conflict ultimately weakened them. The legacy of the Burmese-Siamese wars continues to resonate in modern Thailand and Myanmar. These conflicts have profoundly shaped national identities and historical narratives.